Hey, this is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome to you if you are new. Today, I'm sharing 5 quick and easy St. Patrick's Day DIYs. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now for DIY number 1, I took this sign from the Dollar Tree and tried to carefully remove the little shamrocks. But they were really glued on there. I plan to keep the welcome, so I taped off the edges just so I don't get paint on that side. And I intended to just paint it with some Waverly moss, but then I realized that I needed to give it a base coat, so I went in with a coat of the Waverly plaster. And here I'm putting on the coat of the moss. I then used a chippy brush to dry brush on some of the plaster, but there you can see I went a little too heavy with that. I then dried it with some heat and applied some Waverly sealant. You can use Mod Podge too if that's what you have. And then just remove the tape. Now I love this look. It's not too dark, it's not too white, just perfect. Let me know what you think about this effect. And of course, a little paint got on that side, so I took a baby wipe and just removed that, and it came off very easily. And here I decided to just glue on back the little clover leaves or shamrock, whichever you want to call it. I then placed back the ribbon for hanging and made a bow from these 2 ribbons from Dollar Tree. What I did, I just cut strips of about 5 inches and glued the ends together. Then I glued one on top of the other in a slanted motion, of course, and then wrapped them up with a piece of the jute twine. Cut 2 more pieces and used those for the tail, and then just dovetail the ends, and glued them to the back of the bow. Glued that on. And this piece is done. This video is a part of the monthly 4th Friday open collaboration hosted by Lisa of Our Great House. On Lisa's channel, you will find inspiration for budget-friendly DIYs, travel, and food. And our second host is Sarah of Jujubee DIYs. She has inspiration on cottagecore, home decor, and seasonal DIYs. Sarah's channel. I will leave the links for both the hosts as well as the playlist in my description box below. I had these grapevine hearts left over from Valentine's and was scrolling through Pinterest one day just for some inspiration, and I saw a 4-leaf clover made from grapevine hearts. I had everything that I needed to recreate this DIY. So what I did, I just used the miter shear to trim off the excess from the ends to make sure that they would meet very close together when I was gluing them on. And then I glued the ends together just like you see me doing. And then when I glued that, I just used some more of the hot glue to secure them in place. And here I'm giving it a good coat of apple barrel shamrock green paint. And after I did that, I set it aside to dry. And while that was drying, I took these 2 ribbons to make a bow. But since the green one was a little smaller, I decided to glue it on top of the cream one. But rather than using the hot glue, I used a glue stick or stick glue, and it held up pretty well. And once I had my desired length, I just cut off 4 pieces of about 5 inches and then glued the ends together. And then just glued them on top of each other. then I took the last piece, formed a circle, and glued that one on top. I had this green jute twine in my stash, and I think and so I glued on a small piece at the top for hanging, and that's pretty much it for this one. Now for DIY number 3, I had some small wooden beads and I decided to just do a garland. So I placed the beads in 2 small Ziploc bags and added some black paint and some of the green shamrock paint, and I'm just rubbing them together, just rubbing them around in the paint, making sure they're all covered. And then I just took the heat gun and, you know, kind of dried them a little bit inside the bag. And then here I'm just separating them. And then once I got them separated, I then placed them on this surface and dried them completely. And then I took the same green jute twine, string the beads just like this, and here I'm making a little tassel by just wrapping the twine around my fingers a couple times. I then tied on that to the other end, or to one end, and then I took this black wooden bead that I had already painted black and just tied that onto the end. Added some Mod Podge, and this is done. DIY number 4. Now I took these mini clay pots that I got from Dollar Tree and I painted one of them black and green. So if you are new to my channel today or coming over from the playlist, welcome. I'm so happy you joined me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, dupes, look for less, and some occasional Dollar Tree shopping hauls. If you like budget-friendly DIYs like these and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. And also let me know what you think in the comments below. I do enjoy reading your comments, and it also helps the YouTube algorithm to suggest my videos to more viewers like yourself. And now that it's all dry, I took this piece of foam board, traced out 3 circles that I'm going to be using for risers. Then this piece of wooden board that came in a pack of 6 from Dollar Tree. And because I wanted to reuse this, rather than paint it, I just covered it with a piece of poster board. Okay, so now we are covering the white parts of the board, and I used some black paint for that. And here I'm just using Gorilla Glue. Of course, you can use whatever glue you want if you decide to recreate this DIY. And once I had all of those glued on, I selected some of these Chanel stems to make my rainbow. And of course, I'm selecting the colors of the rainbow. And oh, how I had fun making this rainbow. I eventually got it to cooperate with me. I then painted on a little gold buckle onto the vase with some gold metallic paint. Now let me know in the comments if you still save coins like me. I still do. This is what I save my spare coins in. So I placed one end of the rainbow in the vase or in the pot, if you want to call it a pot for this sake, and covered it with the coins. Then I glued them down, or glued it down on the other end. And here I took 4 cotton buds, and these are going to serve as a cloud. I glued those on, and this DIY is done. Now DIY number 5. This is a failed Valentine's Day DIY project from last year, and I shelved it or parked it. So I took this stencil, which is from a pack of probably about 16 that I purchased from Amazon, and I'll leave a link in the description box for that if you are interested. And it's the perfect size for this board, and it also has the clover leaves on there. And now to keep it in place, I taped down 2 corners with some painter's tape, and this is a Waverly black ink paint. And here I use a sponge dabber just to apply the paint, and then some green shamrock paint for the leaves. And just dried it with the heat gun. I'm not applying too much heat because this is plastic and I don't want to warp it. And here, just removing the stencil. And I love this look. And I'm just making sure that I'm drying it properly. And then at first I use some regular Mod Podge just to seal it in. Now in my mind, the Mod Podge was not coming out fast enough, so Christine decided to use the dishwasher safe Mod Podge, and that was a huge mistake. Now I messed up my work, but however, I decided to just, keep trying. So here I'm trying to clean it off with a baby wipe. I've always interchanged between the 2 Mod Podges in my projects, and I've never had any issues before, but now I know. And here it is. I then glued back the corners together. And then just took a little of the black paint to correct some of the mistakes I made. And to add a little embellishment, I wrapped a piece of jute twine around the top, slapped on a little bow, and called it done. Now I kind of like the farmhouse rustic look of this one, although it got messed up a little bit. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So there you have it, guys. Quick and easy St. Patrick's Day DIY inspirations. Let me know in the comments below which one of these was your favorite. And don't forget to check out the host channels and the playlist down below after you get done watching my video. And also like, share, and subscribe to their channels as well. And if you are looking for more DIY inspirations, I recommend this video right here or this playlist, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.